Oh boy, it begins. It begins. And here we are. It begins, my people. So hey everyone, it is Nux, and I am back with not just a normal video, but a Sonic the Hedgehog video. It's been a while since I've talked about Sonic, mainly because, as I stated in my last one, that I was going to be taking a break from Sonic the Hedgehog because I'm kind of burned out on it, and I've had some really negative thoughts about the series, and I just need some time away. But I've come back because we finally got our teaser for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that will be coming out next year. And we basically got a short little teaser image and video. And so it's not much since it's just a silhouette of what he's possibly going to look like in the movie. But oh boy. Do you guys see what I'm looking at right now? Let's just address the elephant in the room. The model itself. The model itself looks absolutely horrible. Like, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start about this entire thing. So, first of all, look at his body. Like, he's got this human-like body as if it's a literal human. And he's got regular sneakers. They were talking about in interviews how the feel of Sonic's shoes is important because Sonic has always been known for having cool shoes. We'll throw that out the window because he just has generic red sneakers. And then look at his body. Like, that's the worst part about all of this. It literally looks like a human body with fur. And then they have Sonic's big head on top of that. Now, another thing someone pointed out is if you look really closely, you can actually see his eye, and you notice something weird is going on with his eye there. And the reason for that is they actually have changed the design of how his eyes look. Like, usually he has one giant kind of eye, per se, separated by his big brow. But apparently they've given him two separate eyes in this movie design, and it's just, everything about this design is just absolutely hideous. It's like, and I thought Boom Sonic was bad. At least Boom Sonic had some resemblance of Sonic's design. Like, it's not a very great design, and I still think it's horrible because it has all that dumb sports tape and the Nathan Drake ripoff look, but it's nothing compared to this. This just looks like an absolute mess. So yeah, the general design for this movie, which is probably one of the most important things because Sonic is the main character, is terrible. Pretty much this model is terrible. There's not much else I have to say other than that. We haven't seen the full thing yet. Maybe it could look better in full view than it does now, but all I know is for sure, right now this looks pretty bad. And it's funny because Sega themselves actually commented how they don't even like the final design that's going to be used in this movie, yet they allowed this thing to be greenlit and go this far into production in the first place. Like, this is the problem I have with Sega when it comes to Sonic these days. They have no sense of quality control or no sense of calling things out that are obviously bad ideas. Like, this is one of the reasons some of the recent games have been freaking garbage. Because you can't call out simple things you know are wrong, and just let it happen. Like, it's so ridiculous, man. I'm so pissed off that they act like, oh, this is so bad, but why are you letting it happen? It's ridiculous. And yeah, some people are trying to say, oh, but this is Hollywood. This is Paramount. This is the people working on this movie. And yeah, it is to an extent. It's mostly their fault because the way that they're handling this movie is very poor. The story sounds absolutely stupid. There's no sign of Sonic's friends, although that might be a good thing because they would probably look hideous anyway. But yeah, they just don't know anything about Sonic the Hedgehog. An example, in the little teaser video that we actually do see, instead of the normal ring sound effects, we just have generic game point sound effects as if, oh, Sonic is a game, so maybe if we make it look like a game, that'll be enough to satisfy Sonic fans. Forget actually putting love, care, and effort about the Sonic franchise into movie form. Let's just make a quick cash out on people's nostalgia. And it's funny because this is a similar strategy that Sega themselves is actually using in the Sonic franchise currently. So yeah, this is still a pretty big chunk of this is still their fault. I think one of the main reasons that I'm just so against this movie from happening is we just don't need this garbage right now. Like right now, the Sonic franchise is at a very low point. Like, yeah, Sonic Mania happened, and it was one of the best things to happen to this franchise in the last 5 years, but we immediately got that negated out by Sonic Forces, which is another game that shows, oh, Sonic's not that great of a series, Sonic was never good. It's just more fuel to the haters' arguments, and no matter what this franchise does, I'm never going to agree with these stupid negotiations that, oh, Sonic isn't a good franchise, like, it's never done anything good. That's still a stupid mentality to me because there are multiple Sonic games I do think are good. There is a lot of potential in this franchise still left. The problem is, it's just so hard these days to be a Sonic fan because Sega barely cares about the fan base. Like, yeah, I know there's so many fans and they all want different things, including myself, but at the very least, what you could do is make sure there is a general quality among the entire franchise. And basically right now, there isn't outside of Sonic Mania, which was done by a fan game team. So essentially, Sega themselves haven't done really anything that great since Sonic Generations. And like I said, this movie is just more proof of how out of touch it feels like Sega is with the Sonic brand. They have no sense of quality control, and they just allow these things to happen without thinking, maybe this was actually a bad idea. Maybe we shouldn't have let this happen, even though some of our staffs agree that this is a hideous thing and that it shouldn't be happening, but let's let it happen anyway. Like, this is the reason Nintendo probably strayed away from movies, because they knew Hollywood was so garbage. Like, yeah, they're working with Illumination on a Mario movie, and that could be an abomination, but there's a certain quality control where maybe they at least won't let it get completely out of control like this is. Even Detective Pikachu, when you compare this to Detective Pikachu looks so much better because the Pokemon actually resemble themselves. Like, yes, some of them look weird with the different textures and the different looks, but they still look like their counterparts from the games. There's still a certain degree of charm and passion in the project, it feels like. With this, it just feels like another tie-in cash out to capitalize on nostalgia. And I'm just so tired of Sonic being this sellout brand that has to try and capitalize off its nostalgia all the freaking time. Green Hill Zone, Sonic the Hedgehog on Genesis, that's all you gotta remember. It's not like he had a whole history of great games like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, so even stuff like Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Generations. Forget all of that. Let's just throw all of that away and focus on Sonic, Green Hill Zone, maybe Eggman, maybe Tails, and that's it. It's just so dumb. I'm so tired of Sonic becoming less and less of a character and more of a sellout of a brand. But yeah, that's just... Sonic is a mess of a franchise right now. And this movie is just... I don't even have the words anymore, man. I guess all I can do now is wait for the full trailer to see if anything looks better, and eventually wait for this full movie or whatever Sonic shenanigans happen along the way. That's all I can say pretty much. So yeah, I have a few Sonic themed videos coming in the future that may or may not be related to the movie. So you can look forward to that, I guess. But yeah, stuff like this is the reason why I've kind of moved away from Sonic and have tried my best to mostly focus on Nintendo content, because Nintendo has their flaws. They have their flaws, but I'm happy making videos on their content and stuff like that, especially with how they've recently changed their policy on copyright and stuff like that. It makes it all the more easier to make content on their video. No, I'm sorry, I got that backwards. To make videos on their content. But yeah, Sonic movie, it's a thing. And There's nothing really I can do about it. It's happening. It probably will be horrible. I'm going to guess. Like, a part of me would want to stay optimistic, but not anymore. Not anymore. That's not the guy I am anymore when it comes to Sonic. So if you're looking for the optimism, then go somewhere else. Alright, guys. This has been Nux, and I'm out. Peace.